Hello my dear friends, here is a model tutorial that I made for the Layout in a Weekend challenge that we've achieved at the Spa Valley Railway in aid of Mind Mental Health charity. With budget-friendly materials, I'll share a number of scratch building techniques that I used to make this little yard hut with a hole in the wall. All I'm using is an off-cut piece of 1mm thick mount board, though any thick card material will work just fine. I start by drawing out the walls, triple checking that the widths and heights are all consistent before anything gets cut out. To scale it properly, I've got a generic 00 figure to hand, so I can draw out how big a door should be. Very useful to keep this around as a template, though my cats seem to disagree. Four simple walls are cut out, and at this stage you would also cut out any windows with a craft knife. Storytelling through models is a beautiful thing, so let's say that this generic, unloved building has been so ignored that someone has driven straight into it. I'm sketching out a pattern to show where the bricks have been knocked out, and I'm lining it up on one of the corners so that it doesn't look staged. Keep the shapes that are removed because they can be used as rubble. Whilst we're talking bricks, it's time to give the rest of the walls some extra texture. I use a ruler to line out each row of bricks, then scour across the card with a flathead screwdriver. This technique works well with clay and foam stock too. Admittedly, on flat pieces of card like this, it's more difficult to get a proper indentation. Across each row, I rock the screwdriver back and forth to show each individual brick. You've got to make sure that the mortar lines don't sit above any others, and yes, this is quite time consuming. More to the fact, it can cause a bit of repetitive strain, so whilst we're focusing on mental health during this challenge, do take care of your physical health too. I've waited to cut the doorway out until now, in case the wall above snapped. So now, using thin strips cut from a cereal box, I glue down a frame. The cereal box is also used to bend tabs on the corner of the mat to 90 degrees. These help to hold each wall and the roof in place as they're glued. Another piece is folded to form the roof. And I'm keeping the corner piece of the box to use for the very top. Very precise 4mm strips are cut out to the length of the roof, which will become tiles. Another delicate job, but using scissors I cut almost all the way through in small squares, as it's far neater and quicker than gluing each tile individually, so I've learnt over time. The rows of tiles are glued overlapping each other. If you want to make it an aged building, then they don't all have to be uniform. They could bend in the middle to show that the roof is sagging, or a few tiles could have the corners chipped. I've cut one tile loose and glued it further down to suggest it's dislodged with the crash. You do have to be very selective if you want to show something not looking right. so one tile out of place is more than enough. I want to cover up the card ends on each corner, so I interchange between thick and thin squares of cereal box to glue my way up the wall. Right, that's enough card. Onto the paint. It would be best to spray paint a layer of primer over at this point, but it's pouring down with rain outside and I haven't got long until the challenge. So I'm going straight in with burnt sienna acrylic to see if that holds. Reader, it does not. I coat the walls a couple of times, making sure to include those loose bricks that I cut out as well. The door piece, meanwhile, goes into a Southern Railway looking green, and it's magically had a piece of wire added as the handle. Now for a time-dependent bit. To add the mortar lines between the bricks, I'm coating everything in Revel Aqua colour, which is basically just watered down acrylic. I do only 2 walls at a time, as before it dries fully, it's all got to come off again. To do this, I use a cotton bud dipped in a bit of enamel thinner, even though I'm not using enamel. I go through quite a few as I wipe diagonally across the bricks to remove paint from the brick surface and not the indented lines wherever possible. This is where using a spray brick colour would have helped because some of the paint did come off. But we'll rescue it, don't worry. Using a few varying shades of reds and browns, I dry brush some of the colour back on by wiping most of the paint on a paper towel before brushing. Water stains and grime from the roof are trailed down in this way. The roof gets a coat of grey with a tint of blue, adding a darker spot under the tile that got shifted. The door frame receives a matching green to the door. Once that's dried, I add a dark wash. The way this works is it dries in all of the hard to reach corners, whilst water can be used to wash off most of the clear areas. Lastly, everything gets thrown a bunch of weathering powders. I add mostly brown across the whole building and green towards the ground. The fallen bricks can then be posed, and in just a matter of hours, out of one off-cut piece of card and a bit of cereal box, we have a little hut. I think my brick texture technique has come out better on previous works, but that is completely fine as I'm learning something as I practice. Hopefully it's been helpful seeing it all happen. You can find out more about Titsy for Tatsfield, the layout that it was built for, in the Great Model Railway Challenge playlist.
Look what you've done to my shed, man!
A big thank you to the following channel patrons: Alex Goodman, GBH Train, D0280 Falcon, Sean Tempest, Random Thomas Fan, Dark White 73, Andrew Dyack, Reese Lee Walter, Ryan RTS, Ewan Pentland, Steam Power 4472, Jude 72, Firewind 10, Luneacres Photography, Mario Sonic 64, Elias, Soda Fox Art, TJOC 9891, Tamsy, and Insane Edward.